And Rahul, for IAS, you are covering Ansible, right? Not Terraform.
Sorry, I forgot to add Terraform over there. I will
Okay.
add into our syllabus. IAC Terraform will be there for configuration management. We'll go with Ansible.
Okay, okay. So, like, can you give it like just brief introduction? Like, I'm confused with this configuration management. Like, what are the things?
The- So that is what I'm going to cover in this PPT.
Okay,
Surya.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I
So
think
you
we
are
are good, Rahul. We can go.
and you are able to see the screen, right? Abhishek, Surya, Girish.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
okay. So first of all, I would like to know from your side, like how much, like you are already working in DevOps domain, or like how is it going from your side in DevOps? Like you are trying to get into DevOps, like having another domain, and you want to switch it to DevOps now. So you can give a short introduction, Surya, Abhishek, about
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yes, Rahul. So, like, currently I'm working as a QA.
Okay.
So, we follow this agile process, but mainly we involve this DevOps things. So, like, we only will take the CD builds. We will
Hmm.
only install the latest patches to our servers, and we will start test that things. So
Okay.
but we have the access for the Jenkins, and we follow the Azure DevOps boards as well,
Okay.
like pipelines and all. We have but the dev people is going to push the code to the pipeline so that we will get the CD builds, like CI builds. So with another Jenkins job, we are going to get that CI builds from FTP server, and we are going to install it. So like we follow this DevOps process in the QA section,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
not end to end in the QA section, mainly into the QA section. So I have the knowledge of this DevOps tools, some of them, but not completely. Some of things I can understand. So I want to completely switch to DevOps.
Okay. Okay.
Mine
Got
is
it.
only for QA section, like QA department only. I'm working for this DevOps things. So I want to switch to completely end-to-end DevOps. That's why
Okay. So
I'm.
so it's like you have already a DevOps team. They are taking care of all those tools. You are just like, I would say, the user interface you are using. Like let's take an example of Jenkins. So they have already created a pipeline. So for QA section, you are just
Like
using those pipelines.
installing the latest CA
Okay. Okay. Got it.
builds will
Got
be
it.
there, right? CA artifacts. So I'm going to take that artifacts and install in the following server to test it.
Okay.
Latest features are working fine or not,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
restarting the servers as well. So like in the QA
Okay.
department, without involving DevOps people, we will only take care of these things.
Okay. Got it. Got it. What about Abhishek? What about you?
I'm working as an IT analyst and just getting into DevOps engineer.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not
It,
having any background of DevOps.
no, no, I do not have any background. It is
Okay.
completely fresh for me.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. And Girish.
Yeah, I have worked as Oracle database support role.
Hmm.
So I don't have any background about the DevOps.
Okay. So okay. So it's so thankfully I have created that PPT only. Like we will talk about how DevOps evolved. What was the problem there to have this DevOps domain in any project. Okay. Then we'll talk about what skills you will be requiring to be a DevOps engineer. Then what tools, if you know already about the software life cycle, same there will be a DevOps software life cycle. So in each phase, what tools you are going to be used. So as already Surya asked about what is the basic difference between IAC and Ansible. So we will cover that part in that section, like how in which phase we are using Ansible, in which phase we are going to use Terraform, like that. Okay. Apart from that, like what job roles are available in DevOps domain, so that we will talk about. So let me just show you the outline. So as I said, first we'll discuss about DevOps problem, why there is a need of a DevOps, then how we can solve that problem by having DevOps over there. Then what is DevOps? Like it's development plus operation. Then what are the goals of DevOps? Then what skills you require to be a DevOps? Because of being a DevOps engineer and team, what benefits uh, your team can have. Then we will talk about DevOps cycle. That is nothing but software life cycle only, but that is related to DevOps. Then we will talk about DevOps tools, then DevOps roles, and yeah. So basically, the today's first session is all about DevOps only, like why, what is DevOps, how we can get into the DevOps by learning tools, what basic skill set we should have, right? So that we will talk. Okay. So introduction, I would say like okay, so introduction. Let me talk about introduction. Okay, so DevOps. This is the combination of two words, dev plus ops. That is development and operations. So you can think in that way. Like development means some developers are there that are building, that are developing one application, and there will be a operations team which will handling the deployment of that particular build or that software in any environment. So the DevOps is a combination of both. That one will have some part, some knowledge of development as well, and some part of operations. In our set, like we think it as we will already have a developers over there, but we will take care of that whole software life cycle from after building, deploying it that to the environment. That part will be taken by the DevOps engineer. So if you are a DevOps, like okay, let's talk further more. Like so, this is the basic difference I would say, Dev and DevOps. Okay, uh, what is the problem? Like earlier, before DevOps, there were two teams. One was development team and one was operations team. So what is used to happen that time? Like development, like operations team don't know about what developers are developing, which tool they are using to develop, which language they are using to develop that particular application, right? So because of that, what used to happen, like developer used to do changes and asking operations team to deploy that directly on uh, production, I would say, or any environment. An operation team rarely will have knowledge about that particular application. Like let's suppose take an example of Java. So it's kind of creating a mess with operation. Like they don't know what is Java, like how it works, how they building the tool, and because of that, the many times build used to fail uh, on that production environment, which was causing. Okay, so because of that, what used to happen, like always there used to be a kiosk between development team and operations team. Development team, it's team also don't know about operations, like how operations team will be operation team will be going to deploy that particular application on that particular environment. Okay, so because of this only, to cut down that confusion between dev teams and ops team, uh, the first company, that is Apple, introduced DevOps. That particular DevOps will have knowledge of dev tools as well and ops tools as well. Okay, so because of that, it started it smoothen the entire process of building that particular application and deploying it to any environment they want in a runtime. So that is how Apple is the first company, I would say, who started DevOps in the IT domain. Okay, so this is again I'm just showing you like how, like during deployment send out, like developer what they do, like every time whatever client asks us that we develop, right? So because of frequent changes, what used to happen, uh, operation team don't know about like what change they are doing, whether they are doing package based change, whether they are doing some infrastructure level change. Because if you don't know about infrastructure level change and development team do that, so in that case what would happen to operation, like they will have to change the entire stack of deployment from their side, which could have create a bigger problem for a deployment again if something fails on your production. So again, rolling back that particular to existing one, that again will be a different headache, I would say, for operations team. So for that only, DevOps introduced as a solution. So as I said, Apple is the first company who started DevOps culture in their organization, and it started smoothing the entire process of. So in that case, what would have what will be there? Like that particular person will know uh, about development as well, and as well operations as well. And the process will be smoother. Okay, so DevOps as a solution. So instead of seeing these two groups, as I said, development team used to work separately, operations team used to work separately. So they started working together. It's the same. Instead of seeing these two groups as silos who pass things along but don't really work together. So DevOps recognizes the interdependence of software development and adding op- IT operations, and helps an organization to produce software and IT services more rapidly with frequent iterations. So this is how we came from. Like earlier it was, if you know about the software development life cycle model, that was waterfall model over there. Because of DevOps only, we moved to agile development method. So uh, uh, Sai, Girish, Abhishek, do you know about what is agile methodology?
No.
Okay, okay. So agile methodology, like first of all, let me just tell you about waterfall model. So what used to happen that time? So in waterfall model, you will see, like let's suppose if you are building one feature, okay, one model, only one model of your application. So you will develop that particular model only. You will once you develop, you will test that particular model only, and you will deploy that particular model only. There will be no other features or models will be involved in parallel. So because of what used to happen, like it used to take a lot of time, as you are directly deploying whole model. So the model is nothing but number of features in that model, right? So one after deployment, you won't get to know like which particular feature is failed, and you might have come across the production failure. Okay, so what agile does in that case, like instead of uh, working on whole module, then testing whole module and deploying that whole module to your environment. So what we'll do, we will break that model into features, and feature wise we will deploy it to what I say, to your environment. We will test that feature only, we will and then deploy it. So what it it is down your process, like if that particular features fail, so definitely you will get to know, yeah, this feature only failed, so we can easily roll back it to previous one, again do development on that, and then push it to production. So this is how agile comes in. So right now if you look into any organization, you will see Jira board, right? Jira, as I Surya said, Azure DevOps board they are using. So this is nothing but agile methodology they are following. They are creating tickets. The feature wise tickets will be there, and they will be following sprints, right? So ideally we run two sprints, like one sprint of 2 weeks. So there will be a two sprints, and after two sprints again there will be a release on your production. Okay, so in that sprint, feature will be developed, feature will be tested by QA, and then it will be deployed to your pre-prod environment. So this is how whole one sprint will be completed. And once everything is tested at your pre-prod, everything will be deployed to your production. So even if so rarely, like I would not say completely, if as because of agile methodology you are already testing everything on your pre-prod staging environment, so there are lower chances of getting that particular feature or particular application getting failed on the production. But still if it fails, but you will already know, yeah, this because of this feature only uh, there is a their failure is occurred. So you can really easily trickle down that feature, take roll back that production to previous one, uh, do changes, and again deploy it. So this is how agile methodology works. And because of DevOps only, it could happen, like agile methodology efficiently started using, because of DevOps there were so many tools. Like in waterfall model, uh, deploying whole module is easy, but when you come across all features and you want to do continuous deployment, right? Continuous deployment, which is a CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So definitely we will need some tool that will not have any manual operation, because human operation is the first error, I would say. Like because of human only, we see errors in any application deployment or any application existence, right? So because of DevOps only, CI/CD took place. We started using tools like Jenkins. We will definitely talk about Jenkins in our syllabus. So because of that Jenkins or any CI/CD tool, it made very easy for developer to deploy a single feature on any environment and test it and pass it further. So this is how DevOps as a solution, not just it solved the problem at that developers team and operations team. It collect both team together, because definitely there was an interdependence of software development and IT operations. That's solved by DevOps. Again, it started efficiently using Agile methodology, which definitely help organization to produce software more efficiently and more rapidly. So this is how DevOps came into picture. And after Apple was the first company that as per my knowledge, I know who introduced DevOps. But now, right now, you can see each and every company, each and every startup is needing DevOps. So there is a huge demand in market of DevOps, right? Even if uh, like so even if like each and every startup, each and every company, each and every team needs DevOps. And like DevOps is the guy who knows those tools. They can work efficiently. They can automate things for developers. Definitely, developers can do those things, right? It's not a big task for developers to do automation, but developer are solely uh, deployed for developing that particular application. If they're starting looking into the automation thing, definitely there will be a crunch of load in that on the developer only. And this is how DevOps introduced. Like, so you got my point, right, Surya, Abhishek, and Girish?
Yeah, yes, Rahul.
Okay.
Yes, yes, Rao.
Yes, Rahul.
Okay. So this is again, as I already talked about, DevOps is nothing but development plus operations. Jack of, just remember this line: Jack of all trades and master of none. This means everything. Jack of all trades means you should know about development. Like if from your team developers are working on Java, so DevOps should know about Java. Okay, because on the basis of that only DevOps will able to write pipelines, will able to automate that deployment flow. Okay, so it's not mandatory ki you should know the coding knowledge, but you should have knowledge. Like if we talk about in percentage, so any DevOps should have 70% of knowledge of DevOps tools like operations parts and 30% development. uh, Rest will be taken care by the process. Like that is how. So just remember this line, like jack of all trades, master of none. Jack of all trades is not just related to DevOps tools. I would say it's related to development as well. Like you should know about development. Like yeah, for Java, we are just taking example of Java. Like for Java, we use Maven, we use Gradle as a build tools, right? So DevOps should know about Maven, like how to build any Java application. It's not writing a code, but if developer gives you a code, so you should able to build that particular application, right? So that much you should know. You got my point? Okay. So so, so just remember this line: jack of all trades, master of none. Okay. So dev is used as a shorthand for developers in particular, but in practice it is even wider, and it means that all people involved in developing the product, that include product QA and other kinds of disciplines. Ops, your release engineers, DBAs, network engineers, security professionals, uh, and other job titles as well. Like right, like these days, because of public clouds like AWS, Azure, and GCP, so we don't need network engineers because that is already taken. The network services are already taken care by AWS only. And DBA, you can see the DBAs as well. It's like recent, like nowadays, AWS, Azure, all clouds are providing database services, right? Managed database services. So it's kind of now DevOps should have knowledge of at least configuring that database. At least like many of the mid-scale company teams, you will see there won't be a database administrator, because startups or mid-scale company, they directly start using AWS, Azure, and GCP cloud, because they provide efficient services, right? DBA databases, and everything. So it's, again, I'm saying jack of all trades, master of none, not just development, but at least you should have a knowledge about databases as well, like MySQL, Postgres, not a deep level like writing a query uh, for database like that, not like that, but at least you should able to configure those databases. If someone asks you like make a high availability of that particular database, you should able to do that. So this much operational knowledge you should have with respect to development application as well as database applications. You got my point? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So one tricky question, uh, uh, whenever you start giving interview in DevOps, you will come across one question from interviewer and from HR as well. They will ask you, DevOps engineer is the position or what, or is the teamwork? So there is no like, definitely, because of job title, we said ourselves as a DevOps engineer. But engineer is not a single entity. It's a culture. It's a team. Okay. So it's a combination of developers and operations sits together. So ideally, uh, the thought was like that only. Like developers and operations team will sit together, and they will get to know. And eventually, in the transition, developers, not developers, I would say, but operations team started looking into development, not entirely, but again 30 to 40%. They got to know like, yeah, their application works like this, and from there, DevOps engineer evolved. Like so, DevOps will have knowledge of development and operations. But if any HR or any interviewer ask you like what DevOps engineer is the single entity or what, so DevOps is a culture, DevOps is a team, it combination of developers and operations. That's the thing. We engineers know about tools, okay, and we work. Again, you go into any large scale company, no, you will find that structure only. There will be a developers, there will be a DevOps, and there will be a operation team. Okay, so just the thing, developers will work on development. DevOps team will have knowledge of DevOps tools, and their operation team will look into if they are having their own data centers. So they will look into that part. So DevOps no need to worry about the data centers part, the networking part. DevOps will only will be focusing on how to create an infrastructure for developers, like for developers, what they are developing that application, and how to automate the entire process. Okay. So DevOps is not a single entity. DevOps is a, I would say, a team.
Culture team.
Yeah. Okay. And because of DevOps only, we already talked about waterfall model and agile model. So as DevOps introduced, like there are so many tools in market. Because of that, it gave agility. Agility means nothing. Agility means it faster, like it made all the processes speedy and rapid because of agile methodology. So because of DevOps only, it worked. Like we used to develop whole model, we used to test whole model and deploy that particular whole model into that any environment. But because of DevOps tools, developers started working on single feature. They able to deploy that single feature, at least a single feature on any environment, test it, if fails, revert it. So it made that agility, and it made that particular software development so easy for everyone because of DevOps tools. Okay. So I already talked about Apple. Like Apple was the among the first company to develop DevOps team. They had their first DevOps team, and after that, other companies copied their uh, copied them to create their own DevOps team. Okay, so there is huge, like from I'm just having almost 6 years of experience, but I see there is huge demand of DevOps engineers in market. Even in this recession time, they are still opening. I see for other domains, like there are top 10 uh, domains from IT, like data analysis, AI. Among them, DevOps comes. So if you know DevOps very well, so there won't be uh, any downside for you in the market. Definitely, you will have a job. Okay.
So Raul, just
Yeah,
question.
Vishal.
Uh, it means DevOps have a good life, right?
Yes, yes.
Good future as well, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yes.
And so, what will be the salary package or expected if I have 1 or 2 or 4 year experience in this particular field? Then,
Okay. So in India, like if you go for startups and if you are experienced one, like if you have a knowledge, uh, if you have tremendous knowledge, you have that expertise in automation and cloud. So definitely there is 40 plus, I would say, at
yeah.
least for 5 to 6 years of experience, guy.
Okay.
And for 1 to 2 years of there is demand. So people ask for 12, they are ready to pay. That's the situation right now in DevOps domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think equivalent to the developer, right?
Yeah, equivalent to developer. We already know, like what we used to say, like developer used to have packaged and operations teams, but it's not like that
Mm,
now. If you go for
okay.
other domains like that data analytics, so that's kind of analytical mind you should have, right? In DevOps, it's not like you like definitely in data analysis, data science, you should able to code, right? Here
Mhm.
is not that thing. You should tools are available, so their documents are also available. You just have to configure them. In automation part, you eventually learn, not a development. Like if you, let's talk about Python, so you don't need to learn entire Python, like the frameworks, front and back end. You should at least just have a scripting knowledge in Python, right?
Okay.
So that kind of thing. So that is why people are moving so much to this domain. Like earlier, like I like uh, in recent years, I used to hear like because of AWS cloud, DevOps jobs uh, will be get affected. It's not like that. Like if there is a cloud, definitely there should be a guide to uh, use those services, right? Let's take the example of AWS. You should able to configure it. So developer will not do that, because developer have their own work. They have to develop something. They will not look into the AWS. Definitely DevOps will be needed. So this is how DevOps, then Cloud Ops, now the Data Ops. So there are so many roles are open in DevOps domain. In data analytics section, if you go as a DevOps, so you will be called as a Data Ops. Like there will be a data scientist. Along with them, you will be working as operations, so data ops. Some company will demand for, some companies demand for cloud ops. Like the example I have, like Cloud Cover, one of the company uh, I know. So they need cloud ops, they need expertise, cloud expertise, AWS, Azure, GCP, because they work in that domain only. uh, Product based companies, let's take example of product based companies. So there you will find, definitely there will be a DevOps team, like they will have their product, and they will definitely need an operation guy. Operation guy, not a operation guy, I would say a DevOps guy. So there is a demand. You just have to be expertise in one domain. uh, you if you are better in automation, if you are able to code so well, definitely stick to that subdomain from DevOps. If you are cloud expertise, if you want to learn more about cloud, so definitely you can have a certifications in those clouds and you can go for cloud ops. There is a demand. Like now As I already said, like 9 out of 10 companies, uh, almost every startup, when they start working, they directly start using AWS Azure. They don't have their own data center because managing data center is another different level of headache. So only bigger companies can manage that. Like from my experience, I worked with Reliance Jio, so they are having their own data centers. Okay, so there was a separate operations team just to handle the data center. There was a DevOps team different, but operations team was there to handle those data centers. So, but there is a demand of DevOps.
I- it's a demanding job, right?
Yes, 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 yes. It comes in top 10, as per I know. You can confirm that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Rahul, and one more doubt. So, like, what is this difference between cloud DevOps and normal DevOps, like traditional DevOps, cloud DevOps?
Traditional DevOps will have almost knowledge of everything. Again, I said jack of all trades, master of none. It's not like Surya. You have to learn everything. You have to be expert in at least one tool. If I talk about myself, I'm not expert of cloud, but I'm expert of Ansible, Terraform, okay, and Python. So I know my expertise. So these tools will not be uh, uh, ignored in any company. Even if you need a cloud, definitely to automate that thing, you will be using Ansible, Terraform only, right? To create infrastructure in any cloud, you will. There's definitely there is a cloud formation of AWS, but Terraform is the first choice everyone takes because use it's easy to configure. The documents are properly available on internet. So every guy you would see, they will go for Terraform only. And another thing is like why I will go for Terraform because every organization never use cloud formation. Definitely, Terra organization they will be using Terraform. So the tool which is using which I would say general in any organization that I will learn, right? Definitely I will learn cloud formation. Now in my current organization, I have learned cloud formation as well, but I'm expertise in Terraform, Ansible, Python, like that. So if you are
Okay.
expert in cloud operations means not just handling cloud, but the entire like your networking also you should able to know. You should know, Surya. So that expertise
Okay.
you should have in that domain.
Okay. So, like, it's like we can easily find this JSON templates of Terraform, right? So that we can in internet. So,
We can easily find it. Like Surya, finding is easy, googling is easy, but
yeah.
making it customized, that is on your own, right? You
Yeah.
can
So
directly
the
just
entire
yeah.
template will be we can identify just
Templates are available.
yeah.
If you just see now during our syllabus, we will see the document. It's so easy. Like you just copy and paste it, just customize according to your need and use it. S- Even if cloud formations documents are also well and good, but
Hmm.
Terraform is being widely used, so you should know about Terraform like that.
Okay, so like my doubt is Rahul. So suppose in well-established organization, so suppose the project is having,
Mhm.
uh, we cannot start from scratch. Already, all the things
Right,
has been built in this in that project. If it's a
right.
old project, so suppose in that kind of projects, they need to create a new AWS EC2 instance
Mhm.
to create a new environment for that application. So
Mhm.
justly we can use the existing resources of the project and just to we'll customize some of the authentication tokens and all, login details and all. So based on this only we will create, right? Or else anything we need to
So
add
you
to that.
are so your question. Let me just reframe your question. You are asking uh, if there are already Terraform. Let's take example Terraform. There are already Terraform scripts written, right? In that team. So you are
For
asking is like
the yeah,
okay.
already infrastructure is created. They are asked us to add any like they have
No, then
introduced any third-party application to the
so it's
project.
sole responsibility to make it automated, Surya. If there is no automation to taken place over there, So you should automate that thing, because manual, if you do manual, definitely it gonna break somewhere if you don't do things carefully. So if infrastructure is already created and automation scripts are not placed, so it's kind of golden opportunity for you to learn those things instead of doing manually. Take your time. You just tell them like, we automate those things, and I will do automation. So they will not restrict you to do that unless and until there is so much uh, priority to create that particular service, right? So
Yeah.
so it's kind of golden opportunity. If there is no automation taken place, definitely you should start automating those things. Like my the current organization, that is what my team did. Like earlier team, like it was transition of that particular tool, like RJ Frog Artifactory, from one team to our team. So they did deployment manually, but when it came to us, we automated everything in our case. Then only we did a production upgrade. Till then
Okay.
we never never did production upgrade. So yeah, so it's a opportunity you can grab to uh, learn those things. Like learning in theoretical knowledge is different, but when you work on application, that's another level of knowledge, I would say.
Yeah, got it. So like mainly this Terraform is for infrastructure creation, right? Mainly we use this thing to
Yeah,
automate the infrastructure. Like by running those JSON template, Terraform JSON template, it is going to create automatically the infrastructure to the cloud.
right. Not JSON. That those are YMLs. JSON, not
Oh, YAML files.
YAML files.
Okay, so Terraform is JSON, right? Cloud formation is YAML, I guess.
Both are YAML. And there is no JSON object. Those are
Okay,
not JSON objects. JSON,
so
if you say JSON objects, then it means different. It's those are YAMLs.
okay, so Terraform is using YAML scripting.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will cover that part in our Terraform. That's not a problem. Okay. Okay. So again, that's the goals of DevOps. Like it's a people's team. DevOps. As I said, DevOps is not a single entity. It's a culture. It's a team. It's a combination of developers and operations. So it's kind of cultural change, like collaboration, cooperation, and transformation to to a learning organization. Transformation, like the word itself tells you, like you are transforming yourself, like you are operation guy. So definitely you will have a development knowledge as well, right? And might have chances uh, you started liking development part, and so you will switch your domain into development. Many of guy does that DevOps. Like in my experience, I have seen like Linux administrators move to DevOps. DevOps move to DevOps, because being a DevOps is the uh, explicit exclusive opportunity in market. Like if you have a knowledge of Dev and DevOps. Like currently, I'm also doing Python development, so I can see that like I'm able to write code in Django framework. Not just I'm DevOps guy now, so I have knowledge of development as well. Like I can do coding, I can write test cases and everything. So this is the one. Then the technology, like instead of doing things manually, like there is one book on Python, automate the boring things. So that itself tells like if you have a tool to automate something, so why you are going for manual, right? If you have technology and tools are available in market to do that particular thing automatically. So it's kind of improved entire process because of technology. And the process, again agile, I would say, because of agility the quality of software improved. The software started rapidly develop. Okay. And again the frequent software releases. So what I talked about, the agile model, there will be two sprints and one release after two sprints. That nothing deployment and production, that is nothing but release, right? So what used to happen in waterfall model, you are just developing one module it could have take 6 months, 5 months as well, right? So that will not happen in agile methodology. So you will have frequent release to small chunks of release, but the effective and efficient releases to your production. Okay, and the entire IT process, because you are automating those things. So let's take this example of just you are configuring some middleware like Nginx or Apache, right? So if you are going to do manually, definitely there will be a chances. Let's take example. If you want to configure Nginx on 100 servers, what you will choose? You are going to do manually on all those servers or automating that particular part? What you will choose? Surya, Girish, and Abhishek. Hello.
Rahul, can you repeat once again the question?
I said there are 100 servers,
Okay.
and your team leader asked you to install Nginx on all those 100 servers. What you do? You will do manually installation on all those
No, no,
servers
no.
or
So
auto?
like in my project currently we are using the same structure. So what we'll do is we'll create one Jenkins job. So it is
Hmm.
going to we'll have the list of 100 servers. So it is going to deploy this Nginx to the list of suppose if you select 10 servers in the
Mhm.
list from the drop down. So for the 10 servers, it is going to simultaneously run the job and it is going to install this latest Nginx to those 10 servers. Like we will automate it.
Right. So this is how it improve your IT process and requirements.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bigger word, IT process and requirements. If it uh, look it from another side, like from client perspective, right? Because of small chunks of releases you are deploying on your production, client will also have a better visibility of all features he or she wanted, right?
Yeah.
Instead of developing everything at one moment and deploying it to environment, deploying to any environment, client will not have visibility like what they have exactly done. They have checked all the features which I have asked for them, right? So this is
Yeah.
how it improved the visibility and IT process and requirements. Okay, so these are the DevOps goals. From our side, what we are taking like technology, right, and the cultural change and the process, technology and cultural change, that we can take it. Like if you know tools, it's not like for one thing there are so many tools available in market. So it's not like you should able to you should learn all those tools, right? Just take example of configuration management, Ansible and Puppet. It's not like some organization may be using Puppet, right? So it's not like I should learn that thing as well. You have to be expert in one tool only. If you are doing configuration management, you should have expertise in Ansible. That's it,
So
or
it is
Puppet.
the Puppet also is similar to the Ansible. So it is
Yeah,
easy
same
to
things.
understand.
Yes, the working workflow is different of Puppet, but the the feature they are providing, that is the same. What Ansible does, that's same done by Puppet.
The options will be the configuration options will be different and the workflow will be different. But at the end of the day,
You
both are for the same.
Yes, right. So it's like that. You just have to be expert in use. Like now in next slide we will talk about a DevOps development life cycle only. So you will get to know like in that particular phase what you should know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is again a DevOps life cycle, right? Software life cycle: plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, right? This is the software generic software development life cycle, I would say. So DevOps also according to that only. At the planning, we just not plan for sorry, we just not plan for what language we are going to use to develop that application. We will planning, we will architect infrastructure as well. Like if we are going to use this Python, and we want to have a highly available our application, then we'll go for Kubernetes. We will go for microservice based architecture, like that. So same planning is done for DevOps. So that is why you will see in many organizations there will be a DevOps architect and there will be a software architect. So software architect will be sorry, will be responsible for software development, but DevOps architect will be responsible for architecting that whole thing. Like at the end, the last point of any software development is deployment, right? So that's to be taken care by that DevOps architect only, right? You got my point, right?
Yeah, so like the software architect is mainly for the development
Yeah,
purpose.
right.
So entire application functionality and all depends on the architecture information. On this release, build and release management and it operation after post production and all, it will depend on the DevOps, depends on
DevOps
the
architect.
DevOps architect. Yeah.
They were
Got it.
in collaboration, but you will, if you will find that a hierarchy in any organization for that particular team. There will be a
Okay.
software lead, there will be software engineers, then software lead, and there will be a software architect. Same for, there will be a DevOps engineer, then there will be a DevOps lead, there will be a DevOps architect. So this is what hierarchy and a team architecture you will find anywhere.
And like, what is this difference between DevOps support engineer and DevOps engineer, Rahul? Like, there will be a DevOps support engineer as well.
Yeah, right. There are. So in some organization, you will file as I'm saying, operations teams is the different. Like I took example of Reliance Jio. So in Reliance, there is a different tops technical operations team. What it does, let me tell you. Like you will be a DevOps guy in a DevOps team. You will be automate that thing. You will make that project ready, right? Everything. Once that is done, it will be moved to top team, that technical operations team. What you will do, they don't need to worry about what kind of automation you do. You will just let them know, see, click here, pipeline will be trigger. See, if the issue comes, this is the document, follow these steps, this particular issue will be solved. If new issue comes in, then only they will come to DevOps. So it's kind of hierarchy like L1, L2, and L3 support. So L1 will be the technical operations teams over there. So DevOps team will be free to go on next projects. So that is how hierarchy works. So if you find DevOps support engineering position, so definitely that is not a development part, it's just the operation, like just taking care of that particular application or particular tools. You won't be uh, uh, giving contribution to those tools. Their DevOps might have used like that.
Okay, so like it will not completely to DevOps engineer.
Completely into DevOps, but you won't be from development part. Development as in you won't be working on tools like you will be automating something, you will be writing Ansible code. That won't be
Like
there.
just we will support the
Yeah.
existing pipelines, any
Yes. Yes.
debugging things and all in the
Yes. Yes.
pipeline.
Right. Uh,
Okay.
you will be given SOPs from developer and DevOps team that will have to follow SOPs. So there are so many the bigger organization have that structure. Like DevOps team don't look into the operational side or any issue comes. There will be a different tech ops team. The tech ops team members are nothing but those are Linux administrators, which are transitioning them. Which are trying to transitioning themselves from being Linux administrator to DevOps. Right. I have many friends from my DevOps teams. They move to DevOps within 2 years. So that's not like you are not going to be a DevOps engineer. It's on you, like how you learn things and how you get things like that. So they are now DevOps engineer being in TechOps team.
Okay.
Here is the thing. Here is the main thing. Like you should have a better learning curve. You should able to learn things so fastly. That's it. You have to grasp things because it is not that difficult like writing any development code. If you go for a development, you have to follow a proper structure of writing a code, then writing a test cases, right? There is so much work there. You have to brainstorm yourself to write some logic, right? Here is not that thing. Here also you have to brainstorm it to automate the particular thing, but at least you should have a knowledge of all those DevOps tools. That
Yeah,
eventually
like
comes.
the code will be somewhat less compared to the development.
Yes, right. So DevOps skills, I would say, like definitely DevOps. You should have knowledge of DevOps tools. Okay, ability. At least you should ability to administrate those tools. You should know Jenkins. If someone already built jobs, but you should know like how to trigger that job. If Jenkins goes down, you should know how to make that Jenkins up and running, right? So that at least administration you should have it. You should learn those things. Then scripting skills, like it's not just about DevOps is not just about tools. Like that is the tool is available, just use it. Not like that. There definitely there will be a, like in my current organization I see like we have automated, we rarely use any DevOps tools. We just using Packer over there. Like basically we are handling whole GitLab for our organization omnibus. So we have automated a whole GitLab using Python only. So you will not find any tool, you will find Python everywhere to deploy any component of that GitLab in environment. So you should have a scripting skills like shell script and Python. And nowadays many if you go for interview, so many teams ask as a round to write a Python code in their interview rounds. So better you should have that knowledge, shell scripting and Python coding. Okay. So again, as I said, coding skills. So should possess developer skills in using automation. So for automation, with automation perspective, whatever coding skill you need, you should know that like how to write logic. Definitely here also you have to write a logic, right, to automate something. So you should have that coding skill. Like yeah, I can do that. It's not just like you have to do it on your own. Definitely there is a Google. So Google Baba is available for everything. You just have to search it and use it. And many of the developers use the Stack Overflow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not they do it on their own. Like definitely there are uh, uh, geek coders. They write code on their own, but like almost everyone use Stack Overflow, right? Okay. So this is a skill matrix. Like basically, uh, our whole infrastructure is based on like nobody use a Windows or Mac in their infrastructure because that is not free. Everyone goes for Linux only, right? CentOS, Red Hat, they use because there is a security compliances for that. Many of companies use Red Hat, but so you should have no knowledge about the commands and administration of that Red Hat, CentOS or Ubuntu to work with it, right? It's not like Linux administrator. You have to be Linux administrator, like deep knowledge, because nowadays everything is cloud, everything is on cloud, right? So you just have to have knowledge of administration level, like how instance work, how to install anything on that particular OS and that. So the basic skill, Linux and Unix. Then again, scripting, shell scripting will be there. You should know knowledge about shell scripting. Python, if you know about Python, nowadays I would recommend you to look into Python more. Python and Golang. These two languages are booming in DevOps. But in that Python is that much easy to learn, right? Because of models are
Python and
available. Golang,
Golang.
yeah. But Golang is a bit different and bit difficult, but Python is in that segment kind of easy to learn.
Like Golang is mainly for Kubernetes thing, right, Rahul?
Yeah. Whole Kubernetes is written on Golang. So there are many DevOps right nowadays using Golang as a scripting for automating their work. If you
Not only
want,
for Kubernetes, they're using for other things.
yeah, other stuff as well. If you want to move, like let's suppose now you have transitioned from Linux admin to DevOps. Now you have started getting uh, interest in development as well. So definitely you will learn. Like I also kind of interest in development, so I started working on Python like that. So many of DevOps are moving now to development side. They are, because in startup like company you will see single person is handling everything. I had one colleague, he came from uh, that Grofers, that I don't know that is right, but he knew everything. Like he knew about development, he knew about DevOps as well. So he used to automate everything, not just writing code, but he used to automate whole CI/CD whole pipeline, DevOps pipeline using other tools. So there are people, they are doing that. but it's not like mandatory. But yeah, if you want to learn more, definitely you can go for. So I would recommend Python more than Golang, like that. Configuration management. Uh, Again, there are Puppet, SaltStack, and Chef are there, and Ansible is there. There is a basic difference between Puppet and Ansible. I will tell you in Ansible section, like how Ansible differ from Puppet, SaltStack, and Chef. But in general, because of proper documentation, most of the organizations are using Ansible only. It's kind of popular among DevOps guys, Ansible. So for configuration management, you can go for Ansible. Bare metal configuration, it's kind of less, uh, think it as a infrastructure as a code. So there are cobbler, foreman are there, but we can use Terraform as well. Okay, and it's the deeper one, bare metal configuration. It's related to data center as well. Like in data center, you will file bare metals only. After bare metals, they create instances out of that, uh, right? And not instances. They create, they deploy some cloud on that, like OpenStack. I would say the open source one, and through that you start using Terraform on that OpenStack cloud and create instances from that bare metal. So to configure that bare metal itself also, there are the tools like Cobbler, Foreman, and all. So you can skip this part. You just think you can just keep in mind like we have to learn IAC, infrastructure as a code, and that is Terraform. Okay. So benefits we're already talking, like flexibility is there, agility and speed is there. It it wrap it wrapped up the whole development life cycle, that accelerated innovation, IT efficiency because of it smoothen the process. So that is also there. Cost avoidance. Let's just take example of. Uh, I just want to give example on cost avoidance because of Terraform. If you want to create infrastructure for doing some POC, right, and you have created multiple components. Like let's take example of AWS. AWS just creating simple EC2 instance doesn't mean it requires lot many servers in behind, right? VPC is there, security groups are there, uh, EBS volumes are there, right? So if you go manually, if you create all these services manually and you done with POC, now you have to delete it. Definitely there are chances you will miss something to delete, and that could incur a cost, unnecessary cost in your bill. So because of Terraform, if you automate that thing, uh, in one click you make up and running that entire infrastructure. Once your job is done, you just scrap it up using Terraform. Just destruct it. Whole entire infrastructure will be gone from your AWS. So this is how you can avoid. You can have a cost avoidance. This is one of the aspect I'm saying on cost avoidance, but there are so many aspects related to cost avoidance. You getting my point, right? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Rahul.
I hope you are enjoying, or is it too fast from my side? Like, just let me know.
No. It is
To-
fine
Yeah,
and
it's
informative session as well.
yeah. Today just the introduction part. Now next week onward we will look into. Like I just wanted to let you know. Like I didn't know what your background, like
Yeah,
working background is.
it's good. We have to start from ABC
Right.
as I'm a new in
Yeah.
this,
And
and I'm
definitely.
enjoying it as
Yeah,
well.
Bishop. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So like why I'm telling this, because in interview definitely they will ask you this question. Definitely you might will come across what is, they will ask you what is agile methodology. Many of the organization you will see the, if you see the JD of any job opening in DevOps, you will see the agile methodology. So they expect you to know about agility. What is agility? What you are following in your organization, like that. So this is one. Then DevOps. What is DevOps? That is the question one, like that. So so again, this is the DevOps cycle, like continuous business planning. Again, planning we already talked about. what will be the infrastructure, what will be the cloud we will be using. That is taken care by DevOps architect and whole team. Then collaborative development, like developers will develop, DevOps team also will develop their infrastructure. Continuous testing, when infrastructure is ready, developer will start testing their code on that infrastructure. Continuous release and develop deployment, like there will be agile model. So continuous release will be there, like you don't have to deploy whole model into that, feature wise you can go, right? Then continuous monitoring, to monitor a whole infrastructure you will have a monitoring solutions in place. We will talk about those monitoring solutions, right? And collaborative customer feedback and optimization, because of you are automating something, definitely you will get feedback from your developers in your client, like yeah, add this feature now, add this testing stage now, like I don't want to, like QA will demand for, we don't want to do QA testing manually, we want that automated in Jenkins pipeline itself. So that is how collaborative customer feedback will be there. Customers, one aspect, other stakeholders are also there, right? QA, developer, DevOps guys, team lead, and everyone. So this is how you optimize everything. Your pipeline, you optimize it. You optimize your infrastructure usage as well. Like, okay. So this is the DevOps cycle. This is the same. Like this is just now we are moving toward tools. Like I will show you that chart. Like in which phase of which tools we use. Then version controlling, right? Developers will start using Git tools like GitHub, GitLab, that Git-based tools for continuous integration. Then release automation. Then it will comes to infrastructure automation. You will be automating your infrastructure as well. And application management using, there are so many tools in market, APM, application monitoring tools and everything. So that will be monitored and managed by those tools. This is how DevOps cycle works. So each layer we talked about, right? Infrastructure automation. This is the layer. Infrastructure automation, configuration management, continuous integration, continuous deployment, monitoring. So in infrastructure, again there is Cobbler, Foreman, Crowbar, but we will go with Terraform only. Okay. Configuration management. So you now understood, right, Surya? You had this question. What is difference between IAC and the configuration management, right?
Yeah.
So infrastructure automation is for building your whole infrastructure and make it running up and running, right? Once you done with your infrastructure, we will start working on configuration management. Let's suppose one application is there. Uh, you might have come across node application, right? So there are certain steps we follow, right? What we do in node application, we do npm high install, npm install to that package.json, so it installs all those dependencies from that package.json for
Yeah.
to right, to run that application. Then what we do, like then we do run npm run command to start that application. So these are the steps, nothing but the configurations, right? In between we pass some files, right? Let's take front end we use nginx as well, right? So what we do in
Yeah.
nginx, we change that uh, web page, like we bind web page to our node application, then only nginx will able to see the front will able to show that front end application on browser, right? So we pass configuration files to nginx. So to make that management and to uh, automate this whole process, like npm install package.json, like first you will be having git, right, where where you will be placing your code, right? From there you will pull that code to that particular end machine. Then you will do
Yeah.
npm install, right, to
Yeah.
install all dependencies. Then you will copy configuration files related to that nginx, right, to
Okay.
show the
So like
application to
config files means this web config and
yeah.
this config
Config
files,
files,
right?
everything. Config files, whatever you copy, like whatever you copy in runtime to your end machine, that are config files, right? It's
Yeah.
not any hard coded anything. So if you want
Okay.
to change in runtime, now let's suppose this take example of Java Max and Java Min. We usually set it up for any Java application, right? This is the part of one JWX JVM file, right? So we can
Yeah.
tweak that configuration in runtime using configuration management tool. Will that copy different file every time we will restart our Java application? That's it. It will start taking those values, min max values, right? So this is how configuration management works. So Ansible is responsible for automating that whole process.
Okay, so
Installation,
like
configuration.
we will create one config file in Ansible, and we will reuse this config file to every environment
Yes, yes,
when we are
right.
deploying this code.
Yeah.
Okay, it will take the config files from the Ansible and it will is going to use it.
And not Ansible, we can say Ansible is just a tool. We can keep that config file in Git repositories, right? Ansible will pull that config file from Git repository and push it wherever we want through the task.
Okay.
Right?
So like based on our requirements, the Ansible is going to automate this task.
Yes, yes. Whatever manual changes you are going to do, that are taken care by Ansible in automated fashion. You just write set of tasks in one order, like this order should be followed to deploy this particular application. You write it once and you can use that configuration many a times you want, anywhere you can
Okay.
want.
So like mainly Terraform is for automating the infrastructure main
Yeah.
base.
Yes.
Configuration is application configuration. On
Yeah.
that top of infrastructure, this application is going to configure.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Then your continuous integration comes in. Like we already talked about Git. So Jenkins is there. There are so many tools in market. Jenkins, Hudson, Circle CI, uh, uh, Circle CI is there. Then Bamboo is there. Uh, Verity is there. Uh, there are so many tools, but Jenkins is one of popular tool, I would say, in this particular continuous integration domain. People are often uh, use easily because plugins are available and ease of there is ease to use Jenkins. To automate anything, you can easily do that in Jenkins, unlike other applications. But nowadays, Jenkins is not a CN safe tool. So many of the organization, you just read about CN safe and tell me next uh, lecture what is CN safe tools. Okay, just write it CN safe tools. CNCF.
Okay, CNC.
Okay. So nowadays the organization are using CN safe tools and Jenkins is not CN safe. So organizations are moving to other tools like GitLab CI because GitLab itself is giving a lot of features nowadays. Like GitLab CI is there, so they are using that only. Okay. If you go for Kubernetes deployment, you will go for Argo CD. It's kind of another. I will give a gist of Argo CD in continuous integration. What it is exactly like that.
Like
Okay.
nowadays, Git only is providing GitLab application for this CA, right?
Yeah, if you are using GitHub nowadays, you can see GitHub Actions over there, right? There is an option
Yeah.
of GitHub Actions. So this is nothing but continuous integration only. Whatever you do in Jenkins, same you can do with GitLab CI and GitHub Actions.
Yeah. So this CD deployment can be done through Jenkins or
Yeah, that is part of Jenkins only, but still you can have customized tools. Like if you want, I will not go into it. Like it will create a config for now. Just think like Jenkins can be used for CI and CD as well. If you go into this now, so I will show that chart. Like in continuous deployment, you will see Rundeck is there. So Rundeck can be used to deploy many pipelines at many jobs at the same time on any environment. So there are the applications available for continuous deployment, but same can be done through Jenkins. So just think of Jenkins only right now. That can be done. That does continuous integration as well and continuous deployment as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last is monitoring. So there are two parts of monitoring, right? One is log monitoring and one is system level monitoring. So
Yeah.
we will focus on Elasticstack, which is uh, uh, popularly used in market, which is open source. So many of organization use this Elasticstack only. Elasticstack is nothing but ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Kibana is for front end. Logstash is for parsing your logs into meaningful information, and Elasticsearch is for storing all those data for future reference.
Okay,
From it,
this is mainly by AWS, right? This
no,
monitoring.
No, these are not given by AWS. Nowadays, AWS have copied the Elasticstack to there,
Yeah.
but Elasticstack is open source. It's not part of
It's a kind
any.
of similar tool to Splunk, New Relic.
Yes. Those are paid tools, right?
Yeah.
So those are costly. Like being a DevOps, our focus should be using open source tools only. As much as we can reduce the cost of our company, that is the benefit to use open source tools. So never go. So if organization having so much money, they will definitely force you to use paid tools like Splunk. In Ansible also, they will force you to use Ansible Tower, uh, like that, right? But our focus should be we should always try to choose open source tools only, because we have to be generic. We are not going to be a part of one organization for longer time. Like definitely are going to change sometime, right? Let me just give you an example of JP Morgan. If you go into JP Morgan, you will not find a single open source tool over there. They have developed their own tool, which is not of use if you want to switch from JP Morgan to another company, right? So our uh, interest should be open source tools only.
Yeah, got it.
You got my point. Okay. Monitoring Datadog also there, which is paid one. SignalFX is there, which is paid one. Nowadays, yeah, Splunk itself purchase the SignalFX, so you can do system monitoring. But Prometheus is widely used. It's easy. It's easy to configure. Anyone can write query in Grafana to see any type of dashboard. So Prometheus. We'll focus on these common tools in our syllabus, which are being widely used in any organization. 90% organization use this tool stack only. Terraform, Ansible, Elasticstack, Prometheus, Jenkins, GitHub, GitLab, Kubernetes, Docker. Rarely some organization use Docker Swarm, but you will see Kubernetes is being widely used. Sorry. Okay. So revision control through Git, SVS subversion is there, Bitbucket is there, right? Software configuration management. This is another set. We rarely we will use this clear case. It gives entire process of software configuration management, right from keeping that code, versioning that code and everything. Same it does operations of Ansible as well. If you take example of clear case, it will store code on itself like Git does, and same it carry out same operation as Ansible does. Also, it create documentation work. It create processes. So everything in one place, which is a IBM tool, clear case, but it is not used for us. We are not going to use it anywhere. And virtual management software, if you got chance to work in a company having data centers, so you will find this software like vCenter and Hyper-V. Like Hyper-V, when our next topic is cloud computing, right? So I'm definitely going to teach you about this Hyper-V. So what Hyper-V is and how, why it is needed. Okay. Uh, Let me show you now in this. So now you can see this is the life cycle: build, test, deploy, run, monitor, and notify. So you can see there are so many tools. Just for ACM, Git, GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, Mercury. These are theirs. Uh, then continuous integration, there is Circle CI, Jenkins, Bamboo, Travis, TeamCity is there. Just to build, like let's take example of Java. There is a Gradle, Maven. SBT is for Yarn. Yeah, that is Yarn language. Yeah, SBT is for SBT. Which language is there? I don't remember SBT, but that is different language. Packer is there to, you can build your infrastructure using Packer as well in AWS and anything, right? Repositories are there. If you build something, like let's suppose you build a Java application, so you will be placing it somewhere, right? So there is a Java JFrog Artifactory, Nexus is there, npm is there, Docker Hub is there too. If you have a Docker images and everything, this is a part of testing. So you might know about these tools: Cypress, Browser Sync, as you are from QA, right? JMeter. Blaze meter.
Yeah, I know this JMeter and all.
Yeah, so these can be automated in Jenkins. There are plugins available. You can integrate these tools.
Yeah, for the testing job,
Right.
to run the
Uh,
testing job in the pipeline.
yes. Nowadays, everyone can follow best practices like security compliances are there. So security tools are also there. Like for Kubernetes, you will find Kubebench. For AWS, you will find Prowler is there, which scans your whole AWS account for security reasons.
Yeah,
Right. Unit test cases also you want to write. There is JUnit for Java. Uh, Jacoco is there. Jasmine is there. Jasmine is for npm, I believe. Right. So these are the tools. So for deployment, configuration management, as I said, there is Puppet, SaltStack, Ansible, Shape. Those are the tools. We will focus on Ansible only. Continuous delivery, as I said, there are tools already like Urban Code is a Rundeck is also uh, one of tool used for continuous delivery. But we will think it Jenkins can be used for continuous delivery. We don't need to add another extra tool just for deploy that application. We can take care of that in using Jenkins only, right? But still there are tools. I just wanted to show you like these are the tools. Octopus deploy is widely used, as per I remember, but I never used, but I heard like Octopus deploy many organization uses.
yeah. Octopus deployment is can be done by Ansible also, I guess.
Yeah, right. That can be done. That is why I said like you don't need to have a extra tool. Same Jenkins can also done, right? In Jenkins you can have a stage of deploy. You write it like how you want to deploy it using Ansible or anything. You can do that. It's not an
Yeah,
issue. Infrastructure provisioning, Terraform is there, CloudFormation are there. Terraform is widely used. Security, I will teach you about HashiCorp Vault. To store all your credentials securely, we will teach about HashiCorp Vault, which is being widely used nowadays. There is AWS SSM as well. This symbol is, this particular symbol is of AWS SSM tool. Okay, both work same, but we will talk about HashiCorp Vault in our next sessions. Okay, in run, there is a container like Docker and RKT. Docker is quite famous. It is already known by everyone. We will talk about that in our session. In orchestration, uh, there are so many tools. Ranker, Nomad, AWS also having one. AWS EKS is there. Kubernetes is there. But widely, what we use Kubernetes because Ranker and Nomad are not open source. I believe, as per I remember. I'm not quite right, but I think. But Kubernetes is widely used, so we will talk about Kubernetes only. Compute, cloud, GCP is there, Alibaba is there, AWS, Azure is there, right? So those are the clouds are there. Nowadays, DigitalOcean is also giving cloud. Now there is some boom in market, serverless applications. They use Lambda, API gateway, right? So these are the applications. Lambda is nothing but part of AWS only. AWS Lambda. Okay. These are the OS are quietly used. Ubuntu core OS is used by worker nodes in Kubernetes. Red Hat is widely used for security compliances, right? Databases, MySQL, Mongo. At least you should have knowledge of MySQL, Mongo, and Postgres. These three databases are widely used. And in caching side, you should have knowledge of Redis. These four databases you should at least have a knowledge. You got my point? Hello.
yeah, yes, Rahul.
Okay.
I understood.
In monitoring, again, there are so many tools. New Relic is there. New Relic is APM best tools, but in monitoring section you will find like Prometheus is widely used cloud for infrastructure. For application APM, like application monitoring, you can have these are paid tools. New Relic, Dynatrace, App Dynamics. Many of organization uses like to monitor applications. In logic, logs management, there is Splunk, Sumo Logic, Logly, Logs.io. Logs.io is nothing but copied pasted of Elastic Stack only. They have just created their own front end on top of open source Elastic. That's it. There is no change. But Elastic Stack, Elastic Kibana, and Logstash is widely used. So we will learn about that tool stack. Okay. So you will have one more database in your knowledge with Mongo, MySQL, Postgres, and Redis. That is Elasticsearch. Okay. Management, as I said, we are following Agile model, so definitely you will see Jira over there. Jira board, also Azure DevOps board. If you are working with Azure, these are the tools, but these are not that much popular like Jira. And notification, you will find many of the organizations right now nowadays have configured notification as well. Like if, just to take example, if your infrastructure is consuming resource more than 90%, you don't need to go and see the dashboard. Automatically these notification tools like PagerDuty, Opsgenie, Slack have their bots, right? So bot will take care of, bot will send that particular resource utilization, and it will start sending notification over on Slack. Twilio is there. So these are the tool stack is there. So you can see there are so many tools in market, but you don't need to master of everything, right? Just take one tool from each segment and be expert of that. Okay. So DevOps roles. So we are already discussed about DevOps, DataOps, cloud specialist. So these are the ones. So like you will find these JDs, release engineer. So release engineer is just responsible for build and release, CI/CD pipeline. Automation engineer will be just responsible for automating the things through Python, Ansible, like that. Integration engineer will be responsible for the CI part, like how you build things and how you push it to Artifactory. And cloud specialist are expert in cloud. Like so, you can choose domain from these DevOps roles, like what you feel interested in that. Any doubt in this?
No.
So that's it. So DevOps is a cultural shift or movement that encourages great collaboration to foster building better quality software more quickly with more reliability. Right. So this is all about DevOps we are going to learn. Right. So it's kind of wide, but not that difficult to learn. You have any doubt so far? DevOps. Like I hope you at least you got to know like what DevOps is, how it evolved, what are the tools are available, right? So it will be beneficial for us to learn next things. It will we won't be a blank at least. Like Abhishek, you are new to DevOps, right? So now you know, yeah, Ansible. If I'm going to teach you Ansible, so you already know, yeah, that is used for configuration management, like that. So that was the purpose uh, of the today session. So before starting a actual syllabus, we should know everything at higher level, like that.
Correct. Before today, I was completely blank regarding these things.
Yeah.
But something I learned.
Okay,
It's a
thank you.
fruitful session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Rahul, can you please share this PPT so that
And yeah, I'm
we-
going to share this PPT and video. Both I will share.
yeah, I think video will be automatically shared to this group once it's completed.
Okay,
And
okay.
can you share this PPT in this group?
Yeah, I will. What I do, I make one folder on my drive and I will share that too. So it will be all like I'm going to teach you all these things in PPT manner only. So I'll be creating PPT. So it will
Okay.
be uh, everything will be at one place for you guys, like for future references as well. So give me some
Okay.
time. I will share the drive link to drive
Okay,
link
even
on
these tools also you're going to teach in PPT manner?
kind of PPT, not that much theoretical. Surya,
Okay.
it's not a college. We are
Yeah,
attending.
like
Yeah,
you will
I know.
going to create the job in Jenkins
Yeah,
and you'll show it, right?
hands on. Complete.
Okay.
Definitely, there will be hands-on. What we
Okay.
will try to do, like on weekend, we will try to do maximum hands-on, and in weekday we have one lecture, right? So in
Yeah.
that case, we will do theory part only, right? So this is how we can manage time. Like if we do hands-on in weekdays, so it will stretch our times. Like I will be available after 7 only, so
Okay.
it should not be late for you as well. So most of the hands-on we will do on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and we will
Okay.
just take a gist of topic on weekday. So this is how we will manage it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just suggest you guys to create a GitHub account, right? And
Yeah, already we have created GitHub account and AWS account as well.
okay.
Yeah, and we installed the Ubuntu server, local Ubuntu server to our machines, and installed Git as well.
I'll
Yeah,
also do.
and we installed VSTS also.
Yeah, Visual
Sorry.
Studio Code also we have installed, Rahul.
And that's well and good then. No issue then. Okay. Sure then. So not issue then. I will by the time I will tell you more tools to install. So we can do that. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So that's it from today.
Yeah, it's good to learn from you, Rahul. It's very good, nice.
Thank you. So what I do, like we
Thank
will
you.
meet on. Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. Next session I will try to. We will meet on Thursday. Thursday evening. The next topic is cloud computing, right? Uh,
Thursday at what time, Rahul? Because
Mostly
we have
evening.
office evening at
Abhishek,
what?
most after 7 only. Abhishek, like 8 to 10. Most I'm preferring, like, so you
Yeah,
will also will not
Thursday.
be stressed. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Like it's just the theory session we will take on weekdays, but most of the hands-on will be done on weekends only, both weekends. So at least you will have some gap. Like if I teach you about cloud computing, and if you start hands-on on a weekend, so we'll have 1 day or 2 day gap in between, right? To learn things, to get some knowledge from yours on your own, right? Like that. That will be fine, right? Or you want something like different schedule?
Yeah, it will be fine. Thursday after 7,
Wednesday,
right?
Thursday. Yeah, after 7 only. Because I will also not be available because of
So like our total in a week, how many days? Rahul, Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday,
Okay.
Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and 1 weekday. These are
Okay, it
three.
will be Wednesday or Thursday. Any.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. We will plan it accordingly, according to my schedule. No, we will shuffle between Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday,
Yeah, sure.
like that. Okay.
Yeah, please share this PPT and record. I think